Hey, good people, it's Carla P. Yarbrough of CarlaPYarbrough.com. And I was thinking about you today because I am always thinking about you. And today, I was thinking about you because some things happened over the course of the past week and really like yesterday that really kind of got on my nerves. But then as I was talking to my husband about it, he kind of gave some clear perspective. And because I was pissed. I was really, really, really pissed off, and he gave some really clear perspective. And I said, because I help people, my purpose is to help you guys find and walk out the purpose that God has for your life. I know that a lot of you probably are going to go through this as you are on this purpose journey, this journey to not only finding your purpose, but actually living out your purpose. And what I'm talking about is friends and family members not understanding what your journey is, how your journey is supposed to go, what God has for you to do, and how it's not subject to their approval. I think I've talked about this before. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look. But it's one of the things that I really hold to when I've talked about this. I talk about this in my book, but I wanted to, rather than just you guys having to wait till the book comes out, I wanted to share this with you because it's something that can be very discouraging and something that is very, very, very hurtful. It's very hurtful when friends and family members who love you, right? Love you and you love them. They have a real problem with the journey that God has you on to the purpose that He has for your life, especially when that journey is a little difficult or a lot difficult, because sometimes it's more than a little difficult, sometimes it's a lot difficult. When that journey is a lot difficult, and maybe they have helped you, maybe they have given you some assistance, right? Because the journey is a lot difficult, whether that be advice or financial, or come and helped you in your business to get a client or something like that, or watched your kids while you were at school, whatever that assistance may have been. They feel like you should be doing things a certain way, or that you should be a certain place, or that your journey, your purpose journey, is subject to their approval. And when you listen to the Lord as opposed to listening to their opinion or their viewpoint of what they believe your life, your journey should look like, a lot of times they can say hurtful things. Well, they have a view of you that is so skewed, that is so not who you are, that it can really be hurtful and sometimes really piss you off. Just real talk, because yesterday I was pissed off. I'm not gonna lie. I know some people be like, "Oh, she Christian. She shouldn't be saying pissed off." I was pissed off. Now, I'm like, look, if you got a problem with that, I can't do nothing for you, because I was pissed off, but I was hurt too. I was really hurt too, because of a viewpoint someone has of me, someone that's close to me has of me and my journey, and how it's going, that I love and I know loves me, but they have this skewed way of thinking. And I've tried to, they passively aggressively say stuff. This person is really passive aggressive in their speaking, so that if I ever come for them, they can say, "Oh, but I wasn't even thinking that. I wasn't saying that. I wasn't thinking that. I don't know why you think that." That passive aggressive, that's what makes you even worse, because if you say something, you like, they can wiggle out of it. That made it even worse. That it's passive aggressive. And so, I was talking to my husband about it, and I was just really, really angry. And he was like, "Why are you mad?" he was like, "Why are you mad?" And he had to remind me of something that the Lord gave me to even write in my book, that my purpose, our journey to purpose, and the way God has us moving, is not subject to anybody's approval but His. It's not even subject to my approval. I did talk about this not too long ago. It's not even subject to my approval. And if it's not subject to my approval, it's definitely not subject to nobody else's. My purpose journey, your purpose journey, is not subject to anybody's approval but God's. But I will tell you that sometimes Your friends and family members, people that are close to you, can say some hurtful things. They can have some very skewed, hurtful views of you. And guess what? There is absolutely nothing you can do to change that except continue on the journey. And when you come into that place that God, that glorious place that God has you come into, your purpose, and you're walking in that purpose, and you're doing those great things, and you're showing the world what God has had for your life, you're doing it. That's the only way that's going to change. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Those same people that pissed you off and had all the extra and all of this, that, and the other to say, they are most likely not gonna come back to you and say, you know, I thought this, but you know what, you was right. What you was doing was, girl, I thought you was. They not gonna do that. They gonna be quiet. Now these very same people, because they love you, will celebrate with you, but they will not come back and apologize for the words that they said. They will not come back and apologize for the views that they've had. They will most likely not come back and apologize for the passive aggressive whatever it is that they did. They will celebrate with you because they love you. So what I'm going to tell you is, just like my husband was like, okay, Ann, he had to tell me, Carla, you got to remember that it's not subject to their approval. Your journey is not subject to the person's, nobody's approval except for God, because he has you on this journey. He has you on this journey towards the purpose that he has set for your life. And as pissed off as I was about the passive aggressive comments that were, that were made yesterday, I had to, be like, you know what, you're right. I had to go back and read the chapter in my own book, which you will get a chance to read eventually. As soon as I'm finished self-publishing, I got a lot more work. I got some, not a lot, but some more work to do. But it's in there, and it's a whole chapter talking about this, and it ministered to me. It ministered to me because I was not in the place for that yesterday. Not in the place for that yesterday. And it was bad. And I say, if I'm in that place, somebody else can be in that place. And they're ready to quit because of what family and friends, loved ones, think of them and their journey and are saying about them and that journey. You cannot be concerned about that. As long as you are positive and down in, how I heard somebody say, down in your shanana, that God has told you this is what you are supposed to be doing. I'm not talking about pipe dreams. I'm not talking about something we made up. I'm talking about something that the Holy Spirit has told you, and he's walking you along that journey, and you're seeing the fruits of your labor, because there's fruit that comes from what you're doing. There's going to be fruit. If there ain't no fruit, then you got to go back and talk to the Holy Spirit, but talk to the Lord about that. But you getting fruit regardless, and the Bible tells us, you get your success comes first the blade, then the ear, then the full stalk. So you might be at the blade stage, and they thinking that you're supposed to be at the full stalk, and why ain't you there? Because I helped you when I did this, and you supposed to be. You need to just quit that and go work at the how Tyler Perry always says. His mama kept telling him, as much as she loved him, she kept telling him he need to go work at the phone company. And every time I hear that story, it helps me too, because it's like, okay, he's doing so much. But his mother, who loves him, was like, my baby out here starving. My baby living in a car. What was going on? Baby, I need you to go just get you a job at the phone company. Think about that. Think about that. There are some people that are doing amazing things now. But their family and friends wasn't behind them either. They was thinking something extra about them. When God has given you a purpose, and first of all, God has given everybody purpose. But when you know the purpose that God has given you, and you have begun that purpose journey, I am not going to tell you that everybody's going to be rooting you on. Because sometimes they'll root you on, and sometimes they just like, okay, you need that. Maybe you missed it, or you just being lazy, or whatever it is, and it can be hurtful. But what I want to encourage you to do the same way my husband encouraged me yesterday. He was like, and he is like, I don't care what they think, and don't you care what they think, because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you gonna let you give you a little bit more insight. The person wasn't even talking about me. My husband is an entrepreneur. My husband is a television producer. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. I love my husband. Anyway, be 25 years come August, but he's a wonderful man. He's a television producer. He is anointed to do what he does. But the journey has been hard. It has been difficult. You know, anybody that's an entrepreneur knows that sometimes the journey can be difficult. But he was like, the sort of person that was talking smack wasn't even talking about my business. They were, and I think maybe that's why I got more mad, because they were saying something about my baby. Anyway, but that's probably why I got more upset, because they were saying something about my husband. I was like, look, you know. But it was passive aggressive. But he was like, and so many amazing things have been in my husband's career. Has been just wonderful. But it's still, you know, you're just like, for real, you know. And so him sharing that with me, that he wasn't even bothered, even though I was, because, you know, I'm defensive. I'm like, I'm ready to fight you. Don't say nothing about my man. But he wasn't even bothered, because he's like, I know what God called me to do. I'm doing what God called me to do. I'm having success at what God called me to do. I've raised my family off of what God called me to do. We have never been forsaken. We have never been forsaken. And as I say, we haven't needed help from time to time. Entrepreneurial life is a trip, so yes, we have. But we've never forsaken, and we have never been begging bread. Flat out. And I said, he had to calm me, bring me on down, because I was ready to go there. He brought me on back. But I wanted to encourage you. If somebody is not believing in what you're supposed to be doing, if they don't believe your purpose, the journey you're taking is what God called you to do, it's not up to them. It's not left up to them. As long as you know you are in line with the will of God, and you are seeing the fruit that God said you would see, you continue. And they'll see it eventually. That don't mean they gonna come back and say, "Oh, girl, you was right." Oh, dude, my dude, you. That don't mean they're gonna do that. Because pride is a trip. So most likely they're not gonna do that. But your ways will please the Lord, and you will bless so many people when you walking in that purpose and you're fulfilling that thing God gave you to do. Okay, I just wanted to share that shit with you today, because yesterday it wasn't good. So yesterday it wasn't good. But I wanted to share that with you, and I will talk to you soon. You all have a wonderful day. Know that I love you much, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.